Welcome to Snowflake's Data Superheroes Origins. I'm your host, Kent Graziano, and this is my Data Dojo. Welcome, everyone. On this episode of Data Superheroes Origins, I have Snowflake superhero Slim Baltagi. Welcome to the Data Dojo, Slim.
Yeah, thank you, Ken, for having me.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you here on my show. You've been pretty active in our Snowflake community. I see you're SnowPro Certified. You got like over 18,000 points since you've joined the community. And I think you even appeared in our group buy, right? When we did the event a while back.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you for the opportunity. It was very great actually to attend that online event. I have a preference of attending real event like where people can meet, but hopefully things will get better in the near future. Yeah.
Yes, we can all hope so. I think we all miss the in-person events.
Yeah,
and I'd love to be doing these interviews actually face to face and instead of in a virtual world. But at least we have the technology that we can continue on even with the situation. Now, sure. Some of the viewers out there probably don't know you as well as I do. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Give us some of your background. Where do you live? Who you're working for now? What your current role is?
Yeah, my name is Slim Baltagi, as you did mention. Currently, I'm CTO of LoganBritton's company in the data analytics since for the last probably 25 years. And now my role is more focusing on the cloud services and in particular, Snowflake. Probably we can say that we are Snowflake shop, really. So other people will shy away saying that they are vendor agnostic. I think we like the technology so much that we are focusing on it and working on related products and services. And that's my current focus for the last few years. So I first time I heard about Snowflake when I was at Capital One. And during the time, Capital One was looking for alternatives to move from Teradata. They started for Amazon Redshift first, and there was a lot of issues. And then they adopted the Snowflake, and I kept in touch with the people who worked on it. So I won't take claim credit, but I was part of the enterprise architecture team, and obviously we have this tight discussion. And after Capital One, I have the chance to work for a company, consulting company, which adopted were of the first adopter of Snowflake, and that was very, very, very helpful. And my way of learning is to share, to do meetups. So that's how, when I learn something, I present about it because it pushes me to learn more about it. And that's how I get more into Snowflake by giving over 6 actually meetups in different cities, starting with my hometown, Chicago, then New York, Dallas, Minneapolis, you name it, actually quite a few, and also in conferences. Yeah, I would prefer stopping here. So we have a conversation versus a monologue. Yes, please.
So when in your career did you really kind of get into data and develop the passion for data that you obviously have?
I'm a mathematician, right? So I love numbers and I love data. So it comes very naturally. But the difference here is not kind of like theoretical. So we are talking about real data. For example, I worked in a project where the data is healthcare data about the 300 million people, so the entire US population. So you feel that it's useful when you work on something and you see the effect on that. So originally, when I started as an enterprise Java developer, always there is data in the backend. But I think the first time, probably back around 2008 or something, was when I was at Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So this is a derivative marketplace, and there is a lot of data, real-time data. So, and also there is data because of regulation. They need to keep this data for 7 years. And also this data is one of the assets. So the data, CME is monetizing this data, selling it. And at that time, I saw the opportunity of using Hadoop. So that's how I introduced this. and the problem was so big, a lot of data and very costly, and that was one how actually I from that time actually I working on nothing but data and analytics. Yes, please.
So what does a day in the life of a data superhero look like for you these days? What are you up to?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the opportunity. Actually, I'm kind of like an early bird, so I wake up early in the morning while my wife and kids are still asleep. So the first time, and I check actually blogs, news. One of my hobbies actually is maintaining a knowledge base about snowflakes. So I can show you what was the first blog, what was the first video. Yeah, I'm pleased actually to learn from your first writings. Really, I have them all. So that's how I start my day. Continue actually collecting, yeah, everything that I can come across when it comes to Snowflake, and I'm feel that I'm very productive during that first hour of the day. And at now LoganBritton, which is soon moving to changing the name to becoming CloudGen. Yeah, I have a team of people working exclusively on Snowflake. So we are building services around Snowflake. One of the things actually that we note that metadata, and here again, not because you're interviewing me, really I learned a lot from your first early article explaining and exposing something wonderful about this metadata. And he was still always actually thinking, okay, I'm seeing people building a layer on top of it. It's mostly kind of BI layer, right? So people will create out of it, out of the metadata, Snowflake metadata, some like visualization. But I see it stops there. So the idea I came with is that I'm building an intelligence layer in a way that we answer questions such as, okay, help me with my housekeeping, help me understanding actually more in details my usage. I receive my Snowflake bill once a month, right? So how I can understand more in details about why these things changed, so this we can explain this and to the business. Because one of the articles that I came across by Frank Slutman, he's saying that the CFOs are still finding it challenging to understand the Snowflake pricing model. So that's where we find this is a niche, and soon we'll have a private actually preview of this one. Yeah, that's I think that was natural. Yeah, I'm seeing also the need, and hopefully we'll reach out to people to get some feedback. So in summary, we are working on building intelligence layer on top of the Snowflake metadata. The other thing also, I saw that people, when it comes to migrating to Snowflake, everybody actually, you see a ton of references, and there is not unified way. So we came with something such as 80% is common. So we have a methodology for migrating to Snowflake, and only 20% is different. And we systematically finding out, like, so for me, if you ask me, migrating from Teradata to Snowflake or Exadata to Snowflake, I would say 80% are common steps, and 20% needs to be customized. Yes,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, well, it's great to hear that some of my early articles are still helping people out these days, and that it's, you're basing some of your work on it. That's pretty gratifying for me.
Indeed. You probably remember that you exposed the data model itself because it's buried into these views. First time seeing this, by the way.
Yeah, the information schema.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
And so, what's your all-time favorite Snowflake features that you've used so far?
Yeah, I used a lot of them. Really
yeah,
a lot.
I'm sure.
So maybe the first one that actually coming from the Hadoop world, which kind of like blew my mind, is that Snowpipe. Really was amazing feature. And the thing is, I think back in January 10th, 2019, if I'm not mistaken, I have the opportunity to present about it, and still it was in private preview. So I have to ask Snowflake to give me that access. And I was given access 2 a.m. on that morning, really. So the presentation was supposed to happen at later in the day at 5. So I did build something around, I live in Chicago, so around the Chicago Transportation Authority, which are actually tracking the buses in the city as they are roaming in the city and the expected arrival on this type of thing. So this all was simply using the open API that this CTA, Chicago Transportation Authority, are exposing, getting this data actually to, at the time was AWS S3, and piping it to Snowpipe, and automatically having views. It's so phenomenal. People will say, wow, you can do this with a data warehouse. I say, yeah, that's kind of like interesting. And also, yeah, I saw like 230 people actually announced, signed up, 115. So I'm proud that I was helping here the community in Chicago. So I see that was kind of like bottom up. So these people, after the talk, will go. I shared the free trial for Snowflake, the link, and I got that feedback that was useful. So probably now that Snowflake is well known, right? It may be changing to top down, like executive will ask their teams to explore Snowflake. But at the time, and hopefully this is still actually something that can be done. Hopefully post-COVID, I'm planning also to do more of these in-person meetups where I can share my knowledge, and I learn also from the people. And that's the gratification, right? Where people reach out and say that was useful. Yeah. Yes. Please.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, as Snowflake's gotten bigger and we're getting into bigger customers, a lot of our business certainly does come from top down, where the executives are telling the technical staff to use it, but we've still got an awful lot of grassroots, and obviously very strong in the Data Superheroes program in our community, where people like you are getting out there and showing people how to use it and showing how effective it can be, and really being able to see what the difference is from the old world to the new world. Now, we've got a lot of new features that have been announced in the last couple of months. Are there any in particular that you're really looking forward to trying out?
Yeah, actually, we are tracking, as I told you, I can say one of my expertise is Snowflake metadata and building services on top of it. And I think I recently came across that it's now in public preview, the org. I think this is amazing feature. Yeah. So the ability of having multiple ourselves at LoganBritton, we have 3 already Snowflake accounts. So one is as a partner, and the other 2 we are using it as we are building services on top of Snowflake. I think the org feature we are soon requesting to enable it. It's in public preview, but we need to ask for it. And we'll be adding this to our service so that this organization who have multiple accounts will find it very convenient to see at one stop how actually whatever they are consuming, how they are using it. Yeah, I think it's the feature that I will be actually integrating very soon. Yeah, and glad that it's coming in the right time. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. The org feature and the hierarchy and the ability to manage all of your, we'll say, global, yes, often cross-cloud reports, organizations and accounts now in one place is really what's going to help enable a lot of organizations adopt this entire data cloud approach. Yes. It's something that we've needed, and I know a lot of people are very excited about that particular feature. So let's see. Next question for you. Really, what advice would you have for people who are aspiring to be Snowflake data superheroes?
Yeah, actually, this is a great question. Yeah, so probably I can share my own experience, right? So I wasn't even aware of this program. How about this? So I was giving actually talks and meetups and conferences. I was giving, writing articles mostly on LinkedIn. And then I was actually approached by Snowflake themselves, and I was told about this program, right? So I was told it's just now you have this program, and there is you will be able to collaborate with others, right? It's versus working solo, right? So that's, and indeed, actually, I'm part of the Slack channel while I'm learning from others and sharing. So the advice here, let me tell you something. I saw people, a couple of them, who are very active and writing about Snowflake. I personally did reach out to them, and they became super data hero. Obviously, they are even scoring much more than me. They pushed me out of the top 10. Really, this is true story. So I did rush to two people. What I'm trying to say here, there is quite a few people, and I will help also in the community, that they are actually not eligible. They will become super data hero instantly. So they already doing blogs. They are coming with video tutorials. So it's a matter of actually telling them about this. So the advice is there is a lot to learn from, right? If I talk about my own experience, because it works both ways, right? So you learn from others. So that's the idea. And when you are actually preparing, let's say, to go to a conference, like the opportunity I was given, I have to work very hard and coming with something innovative, something actually that will, in that case, I was talking about Snowflake from a business perspective, and to my actually surprise, the article itself was liked by the first CEO of Snowflake. So I told myself, maybe I'm doing something right. It was liked by Kent himself, my interviewer, right? So that's the idea. So it's encouraging. So that's the idea. Instead of somebody working on his corner, now you are part of a community. You learn from them. You are being challenged, and so that's it's a win-win situation. Really. So sometimes people will actually complain. Really, I saw some people will saying like Snowflake is closed source. I said, who cares about closed versus open source? Because here you have that capability of bringing what's specific about open source, that you can do the bottom up that you are talking about, right? So the people get hold and stand this technology and bring it to the upper management, do a demo, do a proof of concept. So this is still there. So that's the way how I'm looking at things. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So just to do something a little off topic here, is there something that you could tell the viewers about yourself that might surprise them that's not related to the data world?
Yeah, I'm a chess player, right? And specialized in bullet, so which means the entire game lasts for 1 minute. So 1 minute for me and for my opponent, right? And that's how I relax. So outside of data and analytics, and I'm still hands-on, so I write code every single day. So yeah, that's maybe the one thing. So my way of relaxing is playing chess, online chess, bullet, and or also checking actually what's happening actually in the news, or watching some games. Yeah, so that's the way. Maybe something is obviously I'm not like professional chess player. If that was a time in my life, I have to decide, right? So but chess is a hobby for me, and I'm kind of like I love chess so much. Yeah, that's maybe something.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So you're a mathematician and you're a chess player.
Yeah, and I'm Snowflake more than a fan actually. So
no, you're a super fan, which is why you're in the superheroes program.
Yeah, thank you.
So how can people follow you? What's the best way to track you? Twitter or LinkedIn, or where's a good place for people to see what's happening in your life?
I'm mostly active on LinkedIn. As you know, LinkedIn, they will give you a yearly report. So it happened that I'm publishing a couple of things every month, so which is not bad, right? I'm sure I can publish more. I have already a few articles, like a draft. One of them, maybe the title might sound actually unusual, right? So one of them is about, I'm saying something like the Snowflake spirit and philosophy. So what we guys talking about? Yeah, because I know nobody actually came one day and say, okay, this is how Snowflake, the philosophy of Snowflake. But what I'm seeing actually, and I'm seeing pattern in the way Snowflake is being built and continuously being built. Also, when Snowflake came actually, after once Snowflake became public, I was a little bit frustrated by seeing actually some articles, I won't name, from very well-known actually journals, when they even fail of talking about Snowflake, and it's being considered as another database, right? So I think I have some work to do, right? And whatever I came across, the idea of the data cloud is something which is kind of phenomenal, right? I have a draft about it. And also I'm linking it to something which is interesting. So there is a guy who wrote a paper about data cloud. Yeah, I will maybe follow up, Kent, and share this as soon as I publish this article, upcoming one. I will share this. It's about Snowflake as a data cloud, right? So the guy was explaining interesting things. He said when people say the data is the new oil, this is wrong. And he said why? And he says for him the data is the water, because when you say new oil, you have alternatives. But here, when it comes to data, you don't have alternatives. And he's explaining how critical water compared to oil. So it's the idea. So when you link this article, somebody talking about data cloud, yeah, probably 8 months before Snowflake came with the concept of data cloud. Because the guy ends his article, so the idea here is not marketing the name or the company, but I will put this in an article. So he finished his article by saying there should be a new architecture. Really, that's the article. So the guy is a thought leader, and now months later you come. So it's kind of like now I will put this together and show exactly that the wish. What this guy has in his wish list, Snowflake is fulfilling that. So that comes very naturally. So one about the spirit of and philosophy Snowflake. Another one, Snowflake as a data cloud. I'm encouraged with this one because I remember when I published an article about Snowflake as a data platform. I told myself all I did is just collating few videos by Snowflake here and there, 2 minutes each. But I got a lot of feedback telling me, great, that's how you managed to put this together in just a couple pages, basically. It's very helpful. So I think I'm trying to do the same for Snowflake as a data cloud. So come in plain English and simple wording, not a lot of... there is another thing, I have a draft. I can publish this anytime soon. I personally finding it difficult, challenging to keep up with Snowflake new feature. Really, I will say it in all. Actually, it's not about trying to be modest or anything. No. This is real pain, really. So I'm asking always the question, so how to put something easy for people to digest what was added. So if you consider just the last year itself, people will get lost by just reading the list, not going deep and understanding. So it's a challenge in itself. I told myself, if myself claiming to be somehow knowledgeable of Snowflake, finding it challenging to keep myself up to date. So how about others? So that's the inspiration I got, and I have this as a draft. It's almost done. So it's actually a series of articles, 3 ones, going by different categories instead of throwing everything in one basket. Yeah. So that's what I have. That's what I'm planning for the very near future. Yeah.
Well, that's great to hear, Slim. I look forward to seeing those articles. And I like that idea about data being water, because after all, a cloud is made up of water particles anyway, not oil droplets.
Yes.
I think that's great. I really look forward to seeing that article.
Sure. And you see the link, how the guy was wishing for a new technology and how Snowflake fulfills exactly that wish. So the link is... So because people might think this is separate things, right? The guy is talking about something. No. This is related, right? So this is related.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, Slim, I'm afraid our time's up now. We got to bring this interview to a close. Thank you so much for being here with us today and spending time with us. And hopefully you and I can catch up soon in real life.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Really, Kent, it's an honor, really. So for me, if we are talking about heroes, you are my hero, really. I would say it actually publicly. Yeah, you are very inspiring, really. And I'm also always wondering how you can find that time, writing blogs, giving talks, traveling, and now maybe less. Now it's inspiring. So maybe advice for us to actually maybe how to manage our time, how to be as productive as you are. It will be something that I would look forward to learn from you. Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Slim.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us today in the Snowflake Data Dojo. If you enjoyed this interview, please like it and share with your friends. This is Kent Graziano, the Data Warrior, signing off for now. See you on the next episode of Data Superheroes Origins.